I have a question for you. Do you know who understood marketing better than anyone alive today? It was Adolf Hitler. Andrew Tate got hated, got rich from it. Adolf Hitler got hated, and he might be one of the most famous people ever. They both mastered one thing and one thing only, the power of creating an enemy. And I also think they're both great leaders, because movements don't grow from love, they grow from hate. And before you freak out, I'm not praising it. I'm just explaining the most important ingredient behind a great leader: hate. And this is the same for personal brands and marketing online. The internet doesn't reward positivity, it rewards conflict, hate. Let me actually give you a great example. Ken McElroy, a billionaire that we are working with, multi-billionaire. Here's a picture of his old videos before we started working with him. You see, zero success. And he came to us, at least to Josh, who is the founder of the business. I'm the CCO of the business. He came to Josh and he said, hey, I have the best information in the world about real estate. Why don't I get any views? Like, I literally know the most in the world about real estate. I'm one of the biggest entrepreneurs in America in terms of real estate. Why don't I get any views on YouTube? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I don't even have to explain it to you. I can just show you this picture. What do you see here? It's a bunch of negativity, urgency, conflict. That's what we utilized. Besides that, there are about 50 other things that we changed, but this is the most important one. People are lazy. People don't want to spend their time on your stuff and watching your boring content. So what do you need to make sure that has to happen? You need to create packaging for your video or your short that they need to watch today. They have to fulfill that curiosity gap that you created with your packaging and your content and whatever. They have to fulfill that curiosity in the moment right now when they are seeing your video or when they saw your hook. They have to fulfill it right now. They have to watch it today. Because you know as good as me, when you see a video and you're like, ah, fun video, I might watch it sometime, you add it to your watch later on YouTube. When do you ever watch it? Never. You never go back to your watch later to actually watch that video because there's zero urgency. That's how everyone misses out on views. And this actually happened to me a few days ago. Look at this TikTok, 40K views right now on my account with 90 followers. I just only recently started posting short form content. Why did this go so viral? Because all the local Indonesians started commenting, sharing it with each other, watching the full thing, maybe even twice. Why? Because it was hate. I didn't meant to say it, like it was actually a positive rule, but I didn't make it clear enough. It seemed like hate, and that's why it went so viral, because people get angry, they get mad, they start commenting in like a local Indonesian language. I have no idea what they're saying, but they got mad, and they're sending it to their friends. That's how something goes viral. And this is not just me making shit up. This is proven, because there was this tweet online which said sugar causes cancer, and there was its opposite, like this heals cancer or something, and it didn't even have half of the impressions that the other tweet have. I don't know if I can find it. If I can find it, I will put it in the video, but this just shows how much people care more about solving their pain than just giving them a solution without like just positivity, just giving them a desired outcome without really asking for it. They're looking to argue. They're looking to send it to their friends and argue about it, because guess what happens if someone starts commenting and starts talking about it? The algorithm thinks, hey, someone is commenting on this video, he must have liked it, let me push it to more people. And if a bunch of people start commenting and sending it to each other, especially on Instagram, you can send videos to each other in the DMs, it starts going viral, more viral, more viral. The more controversy, the better. And someone who utilized this perfectly is Andrew Tate. Why do you think he went so mega viral? Because he was hating on women in this case. It was actually genuinely, authentically making fun of them and talking about toxic masculinity as in it was a good thing. And because it was so authentic and it was so real, like he actually meant like what he was saying, people started getting mad and arguing about it, and everyone started talking about it to each other. That causes massive pushes in the algorithm, obviously. But I think you get the point. All this hate is super important to basically create hate and controversy around your name. But with only hate, you also don't win anything. Then there's like people just start hating on you and they won't watch the videos, and it will just die in the algorithm. So what is the other very important ingredient? You need to stand for things that those people that hate one thing also care about. I will also get into this in the next topic about Adolf Hitler. You need to hate someone, but you also need to love a lot of things that you think are important that people can like support you for. In this case, Andrew Tate was all for male discipline, male responsibility, going to the gym, eating healthy, making money, providing for your family, actually taking care of your woman, even though most people think that he is against women, but he's actually a big supporter of feminine women. But all these things, there's a bunch of things that he's loving, and also Adolf Hitler, a bunch of things that they stand for, but they have one main enemy. In this case, for Andrew Tate, it is the Matrix. And then our new clients come to us, and before they work with us, they say, hey, we don't have any views. We have the best information in the world. We are billionaires in this niche, whatever. Why don't people watch our videos? Because they're only talking about the positive things, just like Andrew Tate was doing, and even that was controversial, but they are never picking an enemy. And that's the same thing that we did for Ken McCord, for example. We picked a very clear enemy, the news and the big people in the politics, and you start talking about it and you start making controversial packaging around it, and people start to like you because you're authentic and you're actually standing for things as well, positive changes, and you're trying to provide value and help them in their life. But the first reason why they started watching your stuff, because you were so much against another thing that they were interested about. And that is where it gets dark. The reason why you clicked on this video, Adolf Hitler. Because if you really simplify it, what did he do with Germany when he had all the power? He created a main enemy. Why he has very, very solid arguments, to be honest, but I'm not gonna talk about that here. Why Germany was failing, and it was because of the Jews, in his opinion. Like, I'm not gonna go full into the history because I also don't know everything, but that's basically what he was claiming. There are now a bunch of AI speeches out there that translate his what he was saying, and you're actually like, oh shit, he was so passionate and like he made solid points. Obviously, he should have fucking murdered a bunch of people, but he created an enemy, and he was like super serious about it, about solving it, and about leading, like killing the enemy in this case. And if you reverse engineer that, to be very honest, what did he want to do? He was there to help the Germans make Germany great again. Like, for all the Germans, they're like, oh yeah, that's basically what we want. And if they even slightly agree with the enemy, so in this case, for real estate, it's like the politics. For a CPA, it's the IRS. For someone that's interested in health, it's the big pharma that's trying to make everyone sick and unhealthy, whatever. If someone just slightly agrees with that person or that group being the enemy, they're basically on board and they're gonna support you heavily. And the whole reason why you're still watching this video, probably 5 or 6 minutes in, is because of hate, because of controversy. You were so curious what I was going to say about Adolf Hitler that you watched this full video to just get to this point. So I think you just proved my point right. So, okay, fine. You slightly agree with me. You might disagree with some points that I said, but how do you implement this into your next video? Because that's the full reason of this video. I'm here to create some controversy, but I'm mainly here to provide some value with the controversial statement. So how do you implement this in your next video? You need to lean into both sides of positivity, but also negativity. So like I said, if you're a CPA, and that is what your YouTube videos are going to be about, and that's your offer that you're going to sell, then you need an enemy, which is the IRS. You're trying to avoid the IRS, like audits and everything. And by doing that, you help everyone keep their money, which is a very positive thing, but you also create an enemy, which is a little bit controversial. But that way, you create the best of both sides. You first have people that agree with you and that might consider buying your offer, and then you have people that disagree with you, and they're gonna comment on your stuff, they're gonna watch all your videos to just find more stuff to argue about, they're gonna send it to their friends to argue about it. Like, you make money and you get more views. It's the best of both worlds. I can give you a live example. Go to my channel right now. Go to popular videos. This video might be the most popular video ever now, if you're watching this, because I think it's gonna get a lot of views. But then look at the other videos. The only reason why these videos got views was because of hate, controversy. I was leaning into something, a common belief that people immediately disagree with, or things that people might believe just from their birth, and they have believed it for their whole lives, and I'm leaning into that and destroying that belief. That's why those videos get views. And of course, if you only lean into negativity, you're never going to sell anything, because you just get people to hate you and they just think that you're a prick. But on the other side, if they actually agree with your enemy and they agree with your positive things, they will consider buying your product and being part of your cult. I think it's a very cringe word to say, but that's basically what it is. They're part of your audience who is against someone, but also for something. And if you learned something in this video and you like this video, I'm sure you also want to watch this video. So might as well want to click on it whilst it's on the screen with your lazy ass. Okay, goodbye.